guys? Pretty interesting day. Alright, so the much anticipated Italian referendum came out this morning, and pretty clear straight away from the exit polls that the no vote was going to win. It actually won in a landslide. Something like 55 to 6% voted no. Um, Now, Renzi came out and he resigned. That's all well and good. Now, the market immediately at the moment, after the results came out, started to sell. And we got as low as 151, 10 to 20. Now, this support level is the same support that we got a little while ago. And this is interesting that the market found support again down at these levels. And from that period, pretty much one-way action of short covering, especially at the open here. Now, short covering on the euro it's a little bit more than just sell the room by the fact. Okay, hey guys, how you going? There's a little bit more to it. Now, if you looked at what happened here, this is the on the back of the ECB rumors or the leaks there that the ECB is going to announce an extension of its bond buying program, but also announce the plan in which it's going to taper / end its bond buying program. Now, that's a little bit more aggressive than the market's pricing in, and we're talking about some huge meta monetary policy timelines here that really do impact the market much more than short-term political uncertainty. So once the market has that sort of tapering in its mind, then there is a strong chance of a sharp euro rally. Okay, now we get the actual ECB meeting on Thursday, but I suspect we're going to get front running on the back of that. Now, this is just my own interpretation, so don't read it as gospel about what's going to happen here. But this is fairly bullish, right? And in the backdrop where the market is already so short the euro, the chances of a short covering rally are very real. That being said, I've already taken profit on my long. I don't know if I'll buy the dip. I'll just sit back and watch what's happening. We've got some pretty unique price action. It's not often that we get the dollar yen rallying and the euro rallying, which means that euro yen is just going through the roof. And if we're looking at the euro yen, just to bring it up here, I mean day highs, higher than the open, so that in itself is a good feat. And so much, pretty much this whole downside action has been completed, and the trend here on the euro yen still, if we break a bit higher here, we've got daylight to the top side. So that fits in a little bit with the euro rally. The euro short squeeze also fits in with the dollar yen rally. I'm not getting in the way of that. All right, there's no way I'm getting in the way of that. So if dollar yen's rallying and the US dollar is quite weak, and you can see that because the dollar index fell back, then it must be some extreme risk going on here, and we're getting that, in the Dow, and we're getting that in the DAX. So sharp rallies in both, and I think this is just the market was waiting sort of to get past some of this risk event here in the Italian referendum. It has consolidated for a week or so, and now, especially the DAX has been underperforming. The sky didn't fall in, so this is about as bullish as you can get in terms of market action. And so I really don't want to see too many people fading this euro rally. Super dangerous. Why would you sell now when the ECB is likely to be hawkish or perceived as hawkish, and there is no Italian referendum, and the market's sharply rallying? This was going to get a lot of people into trouble. I know a lot of my clients are looking to sell this, and it's just, wow, why are you doing this, guys? What's going on? There's no reason to be selling here unless you're really, long-term bearish. There's just too many chances for us to be a short squeeze coming here. And it's not just the euro against the yen. The euro against some other pretty key pairs, like the euro pound. Wow, euro pound. Well, Euro Aussie as well had a sharp little reversal, and Euro Pound all giving a little indication here that the Euro's got some strength. I know a lot of people want to sell into the Euro Pound. Maybe just step back from it, right? Just step back from it, see how we go next couple of days in the Euro. You might get a lot better levels. All right, that's all I'm saying here for the Euro. I've still got my sell order in, but it's at 107.50. Even that might be a little early. Might be a little early. I think US dollar strength will win out in the end, but just tactically, not a surprise at all if we're talking tomorrow in the markets at 107.50, even 108. Once it busts above there, it's like, wow, people will just be screaming to the exits, if it does, right? I mean, this. I'm just trying to get across to you that this is foreseeable price action. Now I know I was talking a little bit about short squeezes last week, and how the market was overly bearish on the Italian referendum. And I'm not talking about this move here. I'm talking about a bigger move. That's the real short squeeze. This is nothing really. So let's see how it plays out next 24 hours. It probably has to happen in the next 24 hours if it's going to happen. Well, I mean, it's probably going to happen before the ECB announcement, right? That's probably the way. Now, the other pair which is moving oddly in this whole game is, you would have expected that if the euro rebounded, US dollar's weak on the dollar index, that gold would have done well. And gold's getting crushed. So this is more of a factor of risk on demand and market. There's no reason to be into gold at the moment. There's no fear at all. There's fear only into the downside here. Now, gold is actually one that I'm looking to buy, and I've been looking to buy for a long time. Rather than just talking about it, I have put an order in at 11.47. I expect 11.50 to be tested, and then we can, it's got a little bit of risk reward. Something bad happens, something that gets the market to sell stocks, and then gold go higher. Nothing yet though on the horizon. That's why I'm waiting for a previous support level to buy into. Now this could get me into trouble actually. It's a bit dangerous to go counter and trading like that. The other trade I'm into is long dollar index right now and short the Aussie. Aussie has been not much ado about nothing here. It hasn't really moved too much today. Has been caught up a little bit in some of the risk on, but really we're talking about, this is 30 pip ranges, whereas the rest of the market's been having huge ranges, so nothing to see here. But I still like the short side more than the top side. If I wasn't in already, I would have sold into that. Let's see how it plays out though. Pretty huge. I mean, this resistance up here is just massive. 75 to 75. I think this is actually a little bit lower. I think the 200-day moving average is close to 75 now. This is off a 6-period week. So stock markets remain strong. Dollar yen's going to remain strong as well. It is a little trappy up here. I like it though. I like euro yen higher. I like pound yen higher. So, dollar yen would be supported better than most in some sort of US dollar move. But so you say the euro does have a short squeeze, then you expect dollar yen to struggle to keep up with it, even if euro yen's surging. But I don't think it's going to be a major catalyst to the downside at all. And that would mean dollar index would be pushed back towards a key level, that 100 level, and I'd love to buy a little bit more there. That's my other trade with stops at 99.15. Okay, so that's my setup for this week. I'm actually only streaming today and tomorrow. I'm going to take a week off the markets in general. and work and head back to the Gold Coast for a little bit, see my family. But I'll keep an eye on everything, right? I'm not going to go just abandon the markets completely. I'm just going to try and trade very casually. If there's some nice pullbacks in dollar yen, I'll be there. If there's some nice rallies in the Aussie, I'll be selling into that. And I'll be selling into some nice rallies on the euro there as well. DAX is similar to the euro there, Trade Wizard. I wouldn't be too hopeful if you're caught short. I wouldn't be too hopeful that the market's going to do a miraculous reversal here. It seems pretty impulsive. That's a very strong sort of move. US session still has to play out, but US is cycle highs now, so I wouldn't be into that. So the Kiwi dollar is actually the weakest pair in the market at the moment. Now, why the Kiwi is so weak is that you got the Prime Minister resigning, and also you got some nice little buying on the Aussie Kiwi, and just general US dollar formation is quite good on this pair. But I mean, it's not the preferred way to express US dollar weakness, and I don't think there's much better ways out there, or US dollar strength. It's just as a whole, it's just too strong to be selling into at these levels, and it's an okay buy. It's an okay buy if you think the euro is going to go nuts. If you think the US dollar is going to be okay, but if you think the US dollar is going to pull back for a day or two, but I just I wouldn't play it. I wouldn't play it right now. I mean, that stuff about the Prime Minister resigning is just, that'll be forgotten by tomorrow. That was nothing major. It's more of a setting up the new Prime Minister, in the party type deal. There's no scandals or anything wrong. So yeah, fairly surprising. If you told me that gold was going to fall and euro was going to rally, and dollar yen was going to rally, I'd be like, wow, how? What happened? Stocks went berserk. Okay, that makes a little bit of sense, but not too much. And dollar index is down. Jesus, what the hell's going on? The dollar yen is the weirdest one, but it is basically safe haven. Risk on is creating that whole scenario. But not everything's going to move together like that. You can't have the US dollar index falling. You can't have a euro short squeeze and the dollar yen continue to rally as sharply as it is. So that's something to keep in the back of your mind. One of them will give them. Yeah, so even the gold might start to bounce if the US dollar gets weaker from here. But let's get a little bit of interpretation from some of the banks about what's going on with the Italian referendum. See if we can find some nice stuff there. HSBC usually does some good reports. Let's have a little look at that. I'm not going to touch dollar CAD. I mean, I'm not going to give my opinion on dollar CAD. I don't have a handle on oil, and so I don't have a handle on dollar CAD. I mean, part of me wants to buy it, but if oil goes to 55, then it should be lower, right? But 132.60 held so well. Bigger term, bigger picture. Yeah, there's no real reason to be selling here too aggressively anyway. I mean, it might pull back to the low end, might pull back to 130, but really that requires that US dollar weakness. If you're getting the US dollar weakness, it's probably from the euro, so why not just be euro long? let's keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on that. It's you know, I've stopped watching the CAD and the dollar and the Kiwi dollar a lot actually. Just trading the Aussie and the euro and the dollar yen at the moment. All right, what have we got here? So Renzi resigns. He tried to do it in a way where there wasn't going to be new elections, but more that they want their own party to get the new prime minister. Nothing happened that was a surprise today. It's just, and Italian politics is so ridiculous anyway. So, I mean, if there is an election, that's negative. If there is a snap election. Remember the ECB said they'll come in and step in and buy any Italian bond market weakness, so you can't expect too much of that. Yeah, this little line here that came out. Some space within QE to help Italy, which will be used if needed. I mean, it's just more populism, isn't it? Nothing really. You know, everyone blaming the current government for the situation for the economy and also the banking crisis. But really, I mean, the next government, whoever they are, even if they're left wing or if they're socialists or they're even more right wing, they're not going to be able to do anything about that. Nothing is. But if someone gets in on the plan to have a referendum on the EU, that's when things get serious. I don't know where the 200-day is on the euro, actually. I haven't looked at that for a little while. Let's have a little checky. Significantly further away. Yeah, we've got a lot of room to move here, boys, if we want to bounce up. 106.90 was the high a couple of days ago, Friday. So let's have a look at the euro there, a bit more in depth. That was the high on Friday, which was just a little bit higher than the previous high, and so people got excited, but obviously the Italian referendum was going to overwhelm. So this is the first resistance point, and then above that, 107.50. And then that high would come into place if we really start to move. But the euro, I mean, it can't go too far by itself, right? It needs some US dollar weakness story. Where's that going to come from? Maybe some Fed speakers, putting some cold water on the Fed raising quickly a second time. But we haven't heard anything like that either. And the other way the market can go against the US dollar at the moment is if dollar yen sells aggressively, and that would require stock market weakness. So that's really the only way. In that scenario, gold would be the best thing to go into. If you see a story out there that spooks the stock market, or just general sharp pullback in the stock market at some point in the next couple of weeks. Dave, you want me to talk about Aussie Kiwi, mate? Look, a few clients of mine are onto that. You wanted to get above 105, and you wanted to hold above 105 and start to shake off its lower highs. on the daily there, on the 4 hour. Let me get across on the Aussie Kiwi there and just have a little look. It's grinding lower a lot of the time. You really, I mean, this is pretty strong. So what you need is to get above 105, muck around a little bit, then start to break higher. And then it would look nicer on the charts. At the moment, this is still holding, and the Kiwi is your enemy, right? It's not the Aussie, it's alright, but the Kiwi is your enemy. And the longer it mucks around, the more likely you're going to get something like a China-Trump battle. That will be Aussie negative mostly, not Kiwi negative. So you need a few things to happen to get the Aussie on a path higher, sharper higher against the Kiwi. I mean, maybe RBNZ can talk about cutting again. I mean, it is priced in a little bit, but given the optimism around the world and the fact the US is raising rates sharper than before, and the Kiwi is under a little bit of pressure, maybe there is less need for the RBNZ to do another rate cut. And if they go neutral, that's not going to help anything. That's not going to help this. At the moment, they've still got an easing bias. RBA has gone neutral, and RBA has its meeting tomorrow. Expect nothing out of that either. You can't go more neutral than neutral, and you definitely can't go hawkish here. Not for a few months anyway. 200 day on the hour, Aussie 75.25. So anything above 75 or 80 towards 75 would be good risk reward, I believe. It did go higher, Dave. It didn't go past 105 though very easily. It stalled there and came back down. Alright, look at a couple more reports, boys, and then we'll wrap it up. Might have a look at some of the trade ideas in the room. If you're watching this YouTube, come across to Forex Signals. You can ask PMs there. I'm not reading the YouTube chat. Look at another little set of technicals. We've been talking a lot about fundamentals and, you know, positionings and short squeezes and things. Sometimes it's also good to get the other perspective there. Alright. So these guys have got stops pretty close now. I like that trade. That trade looks pretty good. They're getting skittish on the selling the pound. Pound's hard to sell. It's been relentless, hasn't it? Has been relentless. Its recovery is sneaky and just no one's watching it, but it's just going higher and higher and higher. It's threatening to make a move towards that 130. You know, it's keep your eye on it. Alright, let's have a little look here. So this was obviously drawn before the reversal. Same with dollar Swiss. Okay, yeah, so the breakdown low, that was at 127.90, I believe. Remember the low after the initial Brexit. Okay. Yeah, we've got a little bit of room here. Things will get a little bit difficult for it soon though. I mean, we still have the Article 50 to be triggered, but generally what the market is rallying on is that a lot more soft Brexit overtones from both the European Union and also Britain. Just last week they said they'll pay EU membership fees to get access to the EU single market. That's a sort of big surprise. Where were we? It's bloody fat. He didn't have to use such fat moving averages, did he? Dollar yen's going to be. I mean, you have to have faith to keep buying it. You have to have faith to keep buying the dip. It makes sense to. I'll just much rather see a big pullback before I get more serious into it. We had a pretty big pullback today. 113. You saw that rally on Friday after the NFP didn't last very long. Hopefully you guys all got out of that dip that we bought. This is another one as well that's getting a bit skittish. I mean, if the pound stalls and the euro short squeezes, then we're talking back towards 85. I want to reset some shorts around 85 to 86. Doubt we're going to get much higher than that without a hard Brexit. And now post, this is an interesting chart. Post Italian referendum, I think it's time to get long the euro into the ECB announcement. Euro Swiss is my preferred way of doing it. I didn't get some today. There was a sharp movement. I was thinking about it this afternoon down here at 107.30. I've missed a fair bit of this boat, haven't I? God. Alright, I'm just going to buy a little. Buy a little. I don't want to miss everything here. I don't have much, I don't have any euro really. So, that'll be my euro exposure into ECB. This is an important wave there on the euro. Just quickly checking if I've missed anything for the head. We had services PMI from the pound come out a little stronger than expected just now. But the US services PMI is also tonight. That's fairly important, guys. It's fairly important. Also Dudley speaking. Yeah, I mean this could be some interesting movement. Market's already very strong. The stock market's very strong into this, so definitely potential for movement. RBA, like I said, should be a non-event. We'll talk a little bit more about that, what happens tomorrow afterward. But yeah, broadly, that's where the market is at, boys. There's nothing else to be doing today. Just keep an eye on this euro. I like the short squeeze idea. I like the chances of it moving quite higher, and I'll be looking to sell into it when it stalls. I'll be looking to sell into it when it stalls.
Lincoln Totem. I don't know. Like fire melee. And specs beyond. Armor do I have? 20k? I think that's what that granted up though. 14k. My chest actually has quite a bit of armor on it. It's like 2k.
Clear.
We need what? Orchard?
And Orchard.
Yeah. Which will put us at like almost 70.
I'll be at 70.
Overgrown Shrine.
Find the arena
Did you check
right now.
Overgrown Shrine?
No. Trying to buy an arena right now.
Yes?
Yes.
See ya.
I don't think I need to be doing that right now. I don't think I need to be doing that right now.
Life, the necrotic juice. There are those.
I don't think I need to be doing that right now.
Yes.
Anything you need, just ask. Good luck.
I don't think I need to be doing that right now.
Swallowed by the darkness, and I seem to be causing it a little indigestion.
Over here. There's
Someone or something is keeping very busy in the bowels of this mountain.
A trap is set, a lure is placed, but stronger foes lie in wait.
I need more pockets.
It's always comforting to witness an honest, permanent death.
Yes?
I don't think I need to be doing that right now.
You have